Jahangir. In 1605, Akbar was succeeded by his son Salim, who took the name of Jahangir upon his accession to the throne. He was liberal in his outlook, like his father. He was deeply interested in the welfare of his subject. He valued justice highly, so much so that he had hung a chain of bells outside the palace. Those who had any grievance could tug the ropes of the chain and would receive a hearing from the king. His son Khusro rebelled against him and was defeated at Lahore. Mewar had eluded Akbar, but his Rajput policies led him to subjugate Mewar. Meanwhile, Portuguese had also come to India. Jahangir had cordial relations with them, and they were given trade concessions. He subdued the Afghans of Bengal, but his campaign against the Deccan states was not successful. He ended the long-standing conflict between Mewar and Mughals. His son, Prince Khurram, also known as Shah Jahan, captured the fort of Kangra, but Jahangir lost Kandhar to Persians. Tuzuk-e-Jahangiri, the autobiography of Jahangir, gives information about Jahangir and his interests. It shows that he was a man of justice. He gives 12 rules of conduct to be observed by all the people. Jahangir married Noor Jahan, who was extremely beautiful and talented. Persian art and culture flourished under her influence. She and her family members had important administrative posts. Jahangir often took her advice on personal and administrative matters. Some historians believe that Jahangir was very fond of drinking, and she took most of the decisions in the court, and she became a co-regent. However, her rise to power divided the court into different groups, one in her favor and the other against her. This led to conflict and rivalry among the nobles, which damaged Mughal Empire. Jahangir's failing health led to an open struggle for power between Noor Jahan and her own son Shah Jahan. A number of nobles revolted against Noor Jahan. Jahangir died in 1627 CE and was buried at Lahore. Shah Jahan. After a brief struggle for power, Shah Jahan ascended the throne at Agra in 1628. He suppressed many rebellions, but he failed to recover Kandhar from Persians. He was able to put down the revolt of Bundela Rajputs. He got Bijapur and Golconda in the Deccan, but they were not annexed and paid annual tributes. He also sent his armies to Balkh and Badakhshan in Central Asia. Shah Jahan also led a campaign against Portuguese and caused heavy losses to them. Abdul Hamid Lahori wrote Padshahnama, which gives us valuable information about Shah Jahan's reign. The paintings that illuminated his work are a treat to eyes as they capture court life, wedding and other activities. Inayat Khan's Shah Jahanama is another valuable work of this period. Missionaries, foreign travelers and merchants who visited India during this period have left accounts of Shah Jahan and Aurangzeb. The two things for which Shah Jahan is known to the world over are the famous Taj Mahal and the Peacock Throne. Taj Mahal is regarded as one of the 7 wonders of the world. It was built with white marble at Agra in the memory of his wife Mumtaz Mahal. The Peacock Throne was made of gold and was studded with precious stones and was placed at Diwan-e-Khas at the Red Fort at Delhi. It was built by Shah Jahan when he moved his capital to Delhi from Agra after the death of Mumtaz Mahal. Nadir Shah, the Persian invader, carried the throne away in 1739. On his return to Delhi, he built Shah Jahanabad, which is now a part of Delhi. Shah Jahan also built Moti Masjid in Agra and Jama Masjid in Delhi. His buildings show the use of arches, domes and minarets. During this period, a lot of marble was used instead of sandstone. In the Mughal dynasty, there was no clear law of succession. Even before Shah Jahan died, a fight broke out between his 4 sons, namely Dara, Shuja, Murad and Aurangzeb. In this succession of war, Aurangzeb emerged victorious after defeating his brothers and making his father a virtual prisoner at Agra fort. In 1657, Shah Jahan fell ill and died. Aurangzeb occupied the throne by defeating his brothers and imprisoning his father. He faced many difficulties in his reign of 50 years. His Deccan policy forced him to impose taxes on non-Muslims in order to mitigate his economic constraints. This tax was known as jizya. During his long reign, his empire reached the largest size. It stretched from Kashmir in the north to Jinji in the south and from Hindu Kush in the west to Chittagong in the east. Mir Jumla, the governor of Bengal, annexed Cooch Behar and subdued the Ahoms of Assam. However, this was for a short period of time, and these places were lost to Mughals. Later, Shaista Khan, the next governor, captured Chittagong, which was a center of Portuguese commercial activities. Chittagong was named Islamabad by the orders of the emperor. When Bijapur and Golconda fell beneath Aurangzeb's might, rebellious Hindus flocked to join Shivaji and his Maratha confederacy. Using guerrilla mode of warfare, Shivaji took control of 3 Bijapuri forts, formerly controlled by his father. With these victories, Shivaji assumed leadership of many independent Maratha clans. Marathas, under the leadership of Shivaji, captured forts belonging to both Mughals and Bijapur. Shivaji successfully drove the Mughal armies out of Deccan and was crowned as Chhatrapati or King of the Maratha Confederacy in 1674. While Aurangzeb continued to send troops against him, Shivaji expanded Maratha control throughout the Deccan until his death in 1680. Aurangzeb continued to wage wars against the Marathas for a long time. After his death, new leadership arose in Marathas, who soon became unified under the rule of Peshwa. Aurangzeb's Rajput policy was just the reversal of Akbar's Rajput policy. Akbar tried to befriend them through alliances, marriages, and by giving them high posts in administration. But Aurangzeb had constant conflicts with Rajputs, particularly in Mewar and Marwar. Aurangzeb's imposition of heavy taxes led the Jats of Mathura and Satnamis of Punjab to rebel against Aurangzeb. Guru Tegh Bahadur, the 9th Guru of Sikhs, was executed in Delhi as he reacted to the policies of religious intolerance of Aurangzeb. At the place of his execution now stands a Gurudwara known as Sisganj Gurudwara at Delhi. After this, the relationship between Sikhs and Mughals became strained. Guru Gobind Singh, the 10th Guru of Sikhs, organized the Sikhs into a Khalsa, a military group. It was free from caste and creed. After this, the Sikhs fought the Mughals till the death of Aurangzeb in 1707. Trivia: Babur was not only a soldier statesman but also a poet and a man of letters. His memoirs, written in Turkish, are translated into Persian and English. His sense of humor was remarkable. Trivia: though Akbar was a great patron of the arts, he was dyslexic and was completely incapable of reading or writing as the years of his life progressed. Trivia: Jahangir loved his wife Noor Jahan very much. This was reflected in issuance of special gold mohurs. His courts are vividly portrayed by English ambassador Sir Thomas Roe, who spent nearly 4 years, 1615 to 1619, in his court. Trivia: Shah Jahan gained power by murdering the blinded Khusro, his elder brother, in a conspiracy to eliminate all possible contenders to the throne. Trivia: the Urdu language, spoken today in Pakistan and parts of India, was developed during the Mughal reign period empire, but over time it merged with Hindi and was eventually given a new name, Urdu. Urdu utilizes a Perso-Arabic script known as Nastaliq.